Hi, this is Jamie Arenthal. Welcome to your 45-minute Vinyasa practice with Shavasana. You get to choose how long you would like to stay in Shavasana. You can always add it on if it's not long enough for you. Also, please have blocks, straps, props available for you to help you modify the poses. I usually explain in my classes that every pose comes on a continuum from simple to more complex. And anywhere along that continuum is still the pose, like you're doing it right. So just modify the pose to fit your body and not the other way around. Okay, let's go. Let's start in a seated position. So I use a block. And again, if sitting cross-legged is not comfortable for you, you can always extend a leg, make it comfortable. If you are seated flat on the floor, you can reach under your buttocks and just pull the flesh out from under you so that your sit bones make contact with the earth. And then go ahead and roll your shoulders forward, up, back, and down. And then you can place the backs of your palms on your knees. Sitting up nice and tall, inhale and lengthen your spine, stacking one vertebra over the next. And then gently tuck your chin in as if you're kind of moving that chin back an inch, just to lengthen the back of your neck, keeping the jaw parallel to the floor. You can close your eyes here, breathing in through the nose. Allow the lips to be lightly touching, breathing out through the nose. Each inhalation is an opportunity to expand, to enrich, to nourish. Each exhalation is an opportunity to ground yourself, to contract, to deepen, and to let go of something you no longer need. Focusing on the breaths, start to make your inhalation longer. Let the ribs expand, let the belly expand. And take a full exhalation, noticing the rib cage narrowing, the belly button drawing in towards your spine. Continue like that, inhaling deeply so the ribs and the belly expand, sipping air in all the way up to those collarbones. And exhale, feel yourself releasing, ribs contracting, belly drawing in. These breath control exercises are called pranayama, literally translated as energy restriction. Prana is more than just breath. I like to think of prana as the electricity that runs through your home. You know, the poses are kind of like the foundation, the skin and the bones and the muscles are the walls that we build. And then the conduits that move through our house, either for the plumbing, for the water, or for the electricity, that's where the prana goes, moving throughout. It's like your circulation, your life force. So just taking these couple of minutes to settle in, to arrive at your yoga practice, practicing pranayama. And then you can return to your normal breath, still breathing in through the nose and out through the nose. Let's bring our hands to our center in Anjali Mudra, prayer hands. And take a moment with your eyes closed to set your intention for your yoga practice today. Usually the first thing that comes to mind is perfect. If nothing comes to mind, use ahimsa, the Sanskrit word for do no harm, no violence, or as I like to think, be your own BFF. Float your eyes open. Inhale your prayer hands up to the sky. And as you exhale, release your right fingers to your mat. Ground that left hip and bow over to that left side. Inhale back up to center. Join your hands in prayer. And exhale, centering breath at your heart. Deep breath in, prayer to sky. Exhale left, anchoring those fingers, grounding that right hip and bowing. Inhale, center, palms together. Exhale, centering breath at your heart. Inhale, prayer to sky. Exhale, bow to the right. Inhale, prayer to sky. Exhale, centering breath to the heart. Inhale, prayer to sky. Exhale to the left. Inhale, prayer to sky. And exhale, centering breath to the heart. Turning that into a twist. Deep breath in. Separate your hands shoulder width and turn to your right side, anchoring that left hand on the right knee and right fingers behind you. Gently swivel your gaze to the back of your room. Inhaling center, exhaling heart. Breathing in, separate hands shoulder width and rotate to your left. This time, right hand on left knee, left fingers behind, and then gently swivel your gaze to the back of your room. Inhale, center. Exhale to heart. One more time like that. Deep breath in. Exhale to your right. Pull that belly button in. Swivel gaze to back. Inhale, center. Exhale, heart. Inhale, reach up. Left twist. Belly button in. Swivel gaze. Inhale and exhale, heart center. Beautiful. And then go ahead, if you have a block, just move it to the side. And we'll do a little cat-cow here, hands beneath the thighs. Inhale, lift up, draw those shoulder blades back behind you. Let your gaze reach up, cow pose. And as you exhale, tuck your chin, tuck your tail, roll back, cat pose. A few of these, inhaling to arch your back, exhaling to round your spine. So flexion and extension, and use the breath to help you. So as you exhale, you're contracting, you're pulling that belly button in, you're drawing your gaze down to the groin, and then open your heart, expand, lengthen, reach that heart up to the sky. One more. Beautiful. Go ahead and cross your ankles, roll to hands and knees. Stack your hands right beneath your shoulders. Knees are hip width apart, right under your hips. Go ahead and extend the left leg behind you. You can anchor those toes and just gently rock forward and back. Good. And then hold steady, flex the left foot and lift it up just to hip height. Notice there are no wrinkles in the back of my neck, right? You don't need to look forward, nothing to look at, nose points down. And then keeping hips level, reach that right arm forward, thumb points up, spinal balance. Feel your core engage. What do I mean? Pull in the sides of your waist, like the feeling when you're trying to button a too tight pair of pants. Pull that belly button in. Good. Drawing in, and that will help you to stabilize and continue to breathe smoothly, evenly, continuously. And then you can lower all fours down. The right foot goes behind you. Again, anchor the toes, and you can rock forward and back and just stretching through the bottom of the foot. Maybe you'll feel that in your calf. I know we're going to be shifting soon to sandals, which generally have a lot less support than the boots and, sturdier shoes that we wear throughout the year. So just preparing your feet for what's to come. Shoulders over wrists, flex the right foot, lift leg just to hip height. Again, no wrinkles, back of neck. And then you can go ahead and reach the left hand out, thumb points up. And the reason for the thumb pointing up is it allows you to plug that left shoulder back into its socket. Keep that shoulder blade flat on your back if possible. Staying steady, keeping the breath even, smooth, continuous. And then lower all fours down. So continuing on, we'll turn this into a flow, one breath, one movement. So remember, the inhalation is to expand and extend. And as you exhale, you ground and contract. Inhale and exhale, right? So you're alternating. It's the left leg and the right arm. And then it's the right leg and the left arm. And really think about flexing the foot and pushing that heel through the wall behind you. Think about engaging that core for this spinal balance. And you're breathing, right? Make that breath part of it. Inhaling to lengthen, exhaling to ground. Inhaling to lengthen, exhaling to ground. You have a few more of these. And we just want to end up on, if you started on your left foot, you want to end up with your right foot. Yeah? Okay, here we go. Last one. And then hold all fours. And we'll do our cat-cow here. So exhale everything out. Tuck the tail, tuck the chin. Pull that belly button in like you're stretching away from the mat. And then as you inhale, reverse that. Tip the tail up, tip your gaze up, let the belly go. And if you want to make it a little more juicy, you can always curl your toes under. So exhale, press the shins and tops of your feet to the mat for cat pose. And inhale, arch the back, gaze up for cow pose. Two more. Think of it as exhaling to contract, inhaling to expand. Beautiful. And then come back to all fours. If you want, you can take a break in child's pose at any time if you like it. And we're going to come back. We're going to combine that cat-cow and spinal extension in a flow. So we're going to inhale that left leg and the right hand, and then bend the knee, bend the elbow, tuck your belly button in, bring your knee to your nose to your knee, elbow to your waist, and then expand, go long. Notice the heel is still hip height and the thumb is shoulder height. So exhale, curl up. There's your cat pose. And then inhale long to extend. Spinal balance. 3 more. Exhale, contract. Inhale, lengthen. Remember to flex that foot as you extend it. You want to push that heel through the wall. Last one. And back to all fours. Again, you can always take a little cat-cow here to release, or you could sit back in child's pose, whatever you need. And then we'll get started on the other side whenever you're ready. So inhale, right leg, left hand, get long. Exhale, curl up. Nose to knee, knee to nose, elbow to side. Inhale, stretch it long, one long line. No wrinkles, back of neck. Continue. Contract with the exhale. Expands with the inhale. 3 more. And then go ahead and place all fours down. We'll sit back on our heels, child's pose. Remember, you can always stack your fists here to keep your head aligned with your spine, whatever's comfortable for you. And then go ahead and walk your hands out, puppy pose here. So we're going to curl the toes under and lift the tush up, walk the hands further, and then see if you can allow your chest and head to come through your arms. Maybe your forehead rests on the mat. And puppy pose is halfway between child's pose and downward dog, hence puppy pose. Beautiful. And then come on up to your fingertips. Walk your fingers over to the right and lower your head between those straight arms. Make sure your elbows are straight here. That's going to make a big difference, right? All the fascia connecting those muscles now gets to extend as well. And then come through center, staying long. Walk your hands over to the left side. Elbows straight, lower your head between those straight arms. Feeling stretch through the side body. And then back to center. You can relax your toes behind you. Keep the hands long in front of you and then rock forward. Like this is like a modified push-up position. You could stop here. Let's see if you could stop right here. Or if you wanted a little bit more spinal extension, you can roll those shoulders back behind you and inhale. It's kind of like a variation on upward facing dog. And then pull your belly button in. Rock back, child's pose. Inhale forward, either stop here at the modified push-up or roll back, extending through the spine. And then exhale, use your belly. Pull the belly button in as you exhale, protecting your spine. This time, right, again, your choice how far you want to go here. But as you exhale, swing your hips around to the right, drawing a circle. It's kind of like a teardrop shape, and then come forward again. Try that again. So roll those hips. And again, this works best if your knees are kind of close together. One more in that direction. And the other thing I could offer you here is my mat is like very padded. You might need padding under your knees. Now take it around the opposite direction. So for me, that's left, drawing that circle. Three times, yeah? Beautiful. Good. And then lower yourself all the way down to your mat. We're going to walk the fingers wide. So kind of like a T. And then glue your tops of your feet to the mat. Lift your kneecaps up. So if you can't see, but you could slip a piece of paper under my knee. So my legs are engaged. I'm using Mula Bandha here. So that's root lock, like stopping the flow of urine for women. And then peel your chin and chest off the mat. You won't go very high, right? That's not the purpose. It's just to wake up that spine. And then exhale, you can tap your chin or your forehead on the floor. Inhale again, baby cobra with variation. And exhale, roll it down. One more time, peel yourself off. And then maybe you challenge yourself, lift your hands off the floor. Just see how much was the work of your arms and how much is the work of your erector spinae muscles, the muscles that obviously erect your spine. Brilliant, Latin. And then release it. Bend your knees. Send your hips back to child's pose. And then we'll find downward facing dog, curling the toes under, lifting your hips up. And you can pedal your heels. Those feet are nice and warmed up. We've stretched the soles of the feet. It might be a little bit easier than coming cold right into Adho Mukha Svanasana. Good. And then let's lift that right leg up, keeping hips square. So what do I mean by that? Like if I look under, my right toe is pointing down. If I open the hip, my right toe is going to point out to the side. So keep the hips square. And then as you exhale, draw that right knee forward, shoulders over wrists, hug that knee up into your chest, and then send that leg high. Inhale 3 times. Exhale 2. Inhale. Exhale 3. Inhale, and then send that foot. We bring that knee in and place that foot down. Let's take a twist here. We haven't twisted yet. You could always lower that back knee down. Lift that right arm up. So benefits of keeping that left leg straight. It's a little bit more stretch through the hip flexor, but if you're looking for a little bit more twist, the knee going down can allow you to spiral that heart open a little bit more. So you get to choose. Beautiful. Release the hand down. Step back, downward facing dog. Pedal if you like. And we'll just try a modified vinyasa here just to warm up. Inhale forward to plank. The modification is knees, chin, and chest. Exhale. And as you inhale onto your belly, baby cobra. Again, you're using your spine to help you. Elbows stay bent and close to the hips or the waist. And release. Bend your knees. Child's pose, downward dog. Lift the left leg up. Square your hips. And you know that they're square because the left toes are flexed and pointing down. Exhale, left knee forward. Shift your shoulders over those wrists. Hug your knee to your ribs. Inhale, send that leg up. Total of 3 times. So exhale, come forward, hug it in. Inhale, extend, lift it up. And this time, hug that knee in and step your foot forward. You can always use your left hand to help you here. And again, you have that option. You can lower the right knee or keep the right knee straight and extend that left arm up to the sky to twist, just warming up. And one little fact about twisting, if at all possible, you want to specifically twist the body to the right, the legs to the left for your first twist. And then the opposite, the way we're doing now, your body to the left, your legs to the right for the second twist. And it just helps the colon and your intestines to process matter in the correct direction. And release the left hand down. Go ahead and step forward. Feet parallel, Uttanasana. Notice I have my knees slightly bent here, just helping to protect my lower back. You can do the same. And then halfway up, inhale, flat back, gaze forward. Exhale, forward fold, nose to knees. Again, inhale, coming halfway up. And exhale, lower down. Inhale, flat back, and exhale, lower down. And then coming all the way up. And exhale. Tadasana. So for Tadasana, roll those shoulders up, back, and down, palms face forward. We'll begin our sun salutations. Feet parallel. You can lift your toes, spread them out, and lay them down, and then arch the feet, creating that connection to the earth. Inhale. Exhale through heart center. Inhale, flat back. And exhale, forward fold. Now your choice here, you could hop back or you could send the right and then the left. Come through Vinyasa, Chaturanga, upward facing dog, downward facing dog. If you like, you can omit the Vinyasa and simply step back to your down dog. We will always meet you here. Bend your knees, look forward. You can step, or hop forward, inhale, flat back, and exhale to fold. Reverse one dive and exhale through heart center, forward fold. Inhale, flat back, prepare your journey. Again, linking your breaths to each movement. We'll have 3 breaths here in downward dog. If you are skipping the vinyasa, you'll have 5 breaths here. And then bend your knees, exhale, come forward, inhale, flat back, exhale, forward fold. Reverse the swan. You're inhaling to get long and expand. You're exhaling to fold and contract. Inhale, flat back, prepare. Exhale, chaturanga. Inhale, extend your spine, upward facing dog or baby cobra. Exhale, downward dog. Remember, you can be doing the modified version of chaturanga, knees, chin, and chest to exhale, baby cobra to inhale, and we'll meet you back in downward dog. Bend your knees. Exhale, step or hop. Flat back, inhale. Fold, exhale. Reverse the swan. And exhale to fold. Flat back, inhale. Exhale, lower down. Inhale, lift up. Exhale, downward dog. Deep breaths. Keep lips closed, eyes open. Bend your knees. Coming forward. Reverse swan. One more of these. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. 3 long breaths. Exhale forward. Inhale, flat back. Exhale. Reverse the swan. And hold here. Prayer at heart. Next, bend your knees, circle arms by ears. Inhale for Utkatasana. Exhale, Uttanasana. Inhale, Ardha Uttanasana. Exhale, Chaturanga. Inhale, Urdhva Mukha Svanasana. Exhale, Adho Mukha Svanasana. Lift that right leg up, but go ahead and stack the right hip over the left for down dog split. Send the right foot forward, left heel down. Inhale, warrior one. Exhale, come through your vinyasa. Left leg up. Again, open that hip. Exhale it forward, right heel down. Inhale, warrior one. Exhale, your vinyasa. Breathe 3 long breaths. Again, if I'm going too fast for you, there is the option, I believe, to slow down the recording. And for those of you, if I'm not going fast enough, you can speed it up. Bend your knees, exhale to step or hop forward. Inhale, flat back. Forward fold, Uttanasana. And then bend your knees, circle arms by ears. Inhale for Utkatasana. Exhale to return to Tadasana. Nice. Moving on. Chair. Fold. Flat back. Vinyasa. Downward dog. Down dog split. Warrior one. Vinyasa. Downward dog. Down dog split. Warrior one. Vinyasa. Downward dog. 3 breaths. On an exhale, flat back, forward fold, chair pose, Tadasana. One more. Chair, fold, flat back, Vinyasa. Down dog split. Warrior one. Vinyasa. Down dog. Down dog split. Warrior one. Vinyasa. Down dog. 3 breaths. In through the nose, out through the nose. Smooth, even, continuous. Your journey forward. Forward fold, let it go. Utkatasana. Tadasana. Bring the hands to a prayer. Pause. Moving on to standing poses. You get to decide whether you'd like to include vinyasas here. Completely up to you. So beginning at the top of our mat. Inhale the arms up. Swan dive over. Inhale, flat back. Exhale. Go ahead and send those legs back. You can meet us in downward dog or come through that vinyasa. Right leg up, down dog split. But this time, if you like, go ahead and bend the right knee. For some of us, there's even a flip the dog. So what I'd like you to do, keep that left leg straight. Roll onto the outer edge of your left foot like you're doing side plank. And then the right foot comes to the floor. Lift those hips up. Oh, my chair's in the way. And reach that arm by the ear. Nice. For some of you, if you're warmed up enough, you could turn this into a full wheel. And then to come out of it, flip your dog and bring that right foot forward. Left heel down, warrior one. Exhale to warrior two. You can check back, make sure that left arm is shoulder height, and then swivel your gaze back over those right fingertips. You can tip this back to peaceful warrior. You might want to take a bind. So an easy way to do that, take that left arm behind you and bring the right hand behind your head. You could use the pincher fingers to lay your head back like a supermodel. And for some of you, there might even be a bind. So it's really Gomukhasana, hands here as you interlace. And then releasing here. Go ahead and straighten that right leg. You can bring your hips over to the left, like sassy girl at the beach, and then pivot your arms to triangle pose. So for me, my triangle, my hands up kind of high, you get to decide how low you want to reach, but make sure that you don't turn this into a forward fold by reaching down too far to the ground and sticking your hips out behind you. This is still a lateral bend. And if it's comfortable for your neck, you're tucking the chin in a little bit and then swiveling your gaze up toward that left thumb. Again, if it bothers your neck, just keep your head looking neutral, maybe to something on your wall. Turn your gaze toward that right big toe, bend the right knee. We'll start with that right forearm on that right thigh for side angle. And then you've got options. You can turn the palm facing your head and extend the left arm by your left ear. And that's beautiful, extended side angle. Just make sure you're keeping lots of space from that right armpit to the right ribs to the right thigh, no collapsing. And then of course you have that bind if you like. So the left palm faces away from you. You can follow that hand with your eyes as you bring that left hand on top of that right thigh. And that's a half bind. Maybe you'll stay there. If you'd like to take full bind, bring the fingers to the middle of that right thigh. Take the right hand and reach under to meet it, but then draw those interlaced fingers beneath your thigh so that from a side view, the head is still aligned over that right leg. Like we don't want to be here. This is not an appropriate use of binding in side angle because you just turned it into a forward fold. So here's your side angle. And then for those of you who want to do it, you could even extend that right leg, straighten it, and you could have a bound triangle. It just depends, if you feel any tweaks in your back or anywhere else, let that go. And again, your chin is tucked and you're looking over that left shoulder or toward that left armpit. You can release, bring the hands down to the floor, and then slide that left knee to the outside of the right foot. Hug that right knee up. For anybody whose right buttock won't touch the floor, the most important thing you could do here is straighten out that left leg and flex the foot because we never want to twist on a curved spine. So the hip being off the floor means the spine is curved. It's just dangerous, not healthy for you. So you can put the knee in the crook of the left elbow and reach the right hand behind you. For those of you who want to go a little further, you could take that elbow beyond that left knee and use the elbow to lever you around. And there is a bind here as well. So if you have that in your practice, please go ahead and add on. Think about, are you throwing your head back and extending the cervical spine? We don't want to do that. We want to straighten the back of the neck and gently rotate the gaze to the back of the room. One other thing that you can do here, you can lift that right shoulder up, back and down, right? You're shrugging that shoulder behind you so that this scapula, the shoulder blade, flattens itself along your back and you'll get a little bit more heart opening, chest expansion here. And then release. So if your left leg is straight, bend it. We're going to bring that right foot to the floor, bring the fingertips to the floor, and lift that left leg up. So this is supported warrior 3. And from here, I like to use my block, right? And you could have your blocks under your hand. Right, we can turn this into half moon, Artichandrasana. So you bring that left hand to the left waist, flex your left foot, and start to turn the left toe toward your wall. And we're stacking that left hip over the right, and then you can reach that left arm up to the sky. half moon, Artichandrasana. If you want more challenge, you can actually swivel your gaze up to the sky. And I know that friends will balance here as well. They'll lift that right hand off the block. And then one other variation is a bind. So left hand on the left thigh, bend the left knee, reach for that left ankle and pull that foot away from you like an archer. Dancer on the moon. Nice. And then you can release, come back to center. If you're using the block, now we want the block under the left hand. We're going to do twisting half moon. So Utthita Artichandrasana. Left hand stays on the floor. Right arm lifts up. Now, if this is too much, just simply place that right hand on your sacrum or go ahead and spiral. See if you can get the right shoulder to stack over the left. As far as you go is perfect, not an issue. Are you breathing? Yeah. And then you can release it. Step back. Optional vinyasa. Meet you in downward facing dog. We're almost through. All righty. Left leg up, point the toe, down dog split. Option to bend the left knee. And remember what I did on the other side. Your right leg stays straight. You can flip your dog. So come to that outer edge of your right foot. Left foot on the floor. You're lifting up. It's like being in a tabletop here. And then extend that left arm overhead. Gazing up. You could flip all the way and come to a full wheel if that's in your practice. And then to come out, you're going to flip the dog back and step the left foot forward. Go ahead and lower that right heel, warrior one, and right away, warrior two. Check the right arm, make sure it's shoulder height, and swivel your gaze over the left hand. Breath smooth, even, in control. Pranayama. Reverse your warrior, keeping that left arm long. And then there's a possible bind here. You could take that right arm behind you, just allow that forearm to provide support for your back. And then you could take the pincher fingers of that left hand and lay the head back like a supermodel. Or you can bind, right? If you can reach and interlace those fingers, Gomukhasana arms. And then releasing, straighten that left leg, shift your hips to the right, reach to the left, and find your triangle, Trikonasana. So just make sure that, like if you had a wall behind you, right, you'd be able to have your shoulder against that wall and your buttocks are not protruding, poking out behind you more than, you know, your shape, your curves. Right? So if you kind of reach, if I were to reach to the floor, I'm turning that into a forward fold. My butt's out behind me. No. Here's triangle. Good. We're enjoying that smooth and even breathing. Staying connected to the breath helps us stay connected to our bodies. Turn your gaze down to left big toe, bend left knee, left forearm on that left thigh. Options here for side angle. You can stay right here, or you can extend side angle, one straight line from right heel to right fingertips. For those of you with a bind, palm faces away, follow that hand with your eyes as you reach behind you and you place that right hand on the left thigh. So you can stop here. This is beautiful. Remember, you're keeping lots of space under that left armpit. And if you want to bind, You could reach under, but then draw yourself back in line. And notice my hands are not under my groin. They're really under my thigh. And you're tucking your chin and you're gazing either toward that right shoulder or to that right armpit, whatever suits your pose. And for those of you who wanted it, you could extend the left leg for a bound triangle. If you feel any tweaks, I feel it a little bit in my back. So for me, not the best. When you release, you can bring the hands down and bring that right knee to the outside of that left foot and come to sit through half Maharishi pose. So the reminder, if your left hip, I wonder if I show you this way. So if your left hip is elevated off the floor, the spine will be curved and you don't want to twist on a curved spine. Yeah. So if you can't get that left hip down, your solution is to straighten the right leg out and keep the foot flexed. If you are going to keep it bent, that's fine. Pull the knee back up to the sky, wrap the right arm around so the knee's in the crook of the elbow, and then spin your left fingers behind you. You can take it further if you want. You could take that right elbow beyond that left thigh and press, like use that as leverage here, or any kind of bind that you can put together. And again, I want to remind you, as you inhale, you're lengthening that spine. And as you're exhaling, you're pulling the belly button in and swiveling your gaze. And then do that shrug. If you liked it, roll that left shoulder up, back, and down. So you're flattening that scapula onto your back. I don't know if you're familiar, many people have something called winged scapula, where they kind of stick out behind them most of the time. So we just want to practice, if you would, laying that scapula back down. No wrinkles in the back of the neck. Tuck your chin down and then swivel your gaze. And then back to center. If the right leg is straight, go ahead and bend it in. We're going to stand on that left foot. Come on up and extend the right leg behind you for supported warrior 3. Remember, you could be using the blocks here. We're going to start with Artichandrasana, half moon pose. So you can bring that right hand to your waist and start to turn that right hip on top of the left, stacking it. So your right toes point forward and then extend your right arm to the sky. If you wanted that bind, you're going to bring the right hand to the right thigh, bend the knee, reach for the right ankle, and then pull the right foot away from your hand like an archer. Dancer on the moon. And then when you release, come back around. You want to move that block under the right hand and then extend your left arm up. Left arm up to the sky. Again, if it's too much, that left hand can rest on your sacrum, and then just think about peeling that left shoulder back and up, stacking left shoulder over right, if possible. So Utthita Ardha revolved half moon. And then you can release, step back, chaturanga, meeting you in downward dog. Go ahead and lower your knees to the mat and open them wide. Big toes touching, sitting back for a wide-kneed child's pose. Again, being your own BFF. praise yourself, acknowledge yourself for showing up here today. You're so brave. You're so courageous. You're so committed. And when you're ready, walk your hands under your shoulders, press yourself up, bring knees to one side, hips to the other, and sweep those legs around. So we're going to come onto our backs, and it's one last pose before Shavasana, bridge pose. So scoot your hips down, have a block handy, and roll your weight down. Feet are parallel, hip width apart. Lift your hips up. Now you could use your block. So I like to turn my block this way and then slide it under my sacrum. So what's your sacrum? Your sacrum is that diamond-shaped flat bone that ends with your tailbone, and it kind of starts with your lumbar. So you want this block to be below your waist and above your tailbone. And then go ahead and slide your shoulders beneath you. So if there's anyone who wants a more active bridge, forgo the block, right? And the things that you can do here, either with or without the block, obviously easier with the block, you can bend that right knee in and send that leg high. You can lower it and do the same with the left. This is wonderful if you have any sacroiliac joints issues. It just sort of massages that area out. And if you're doing it without the block, you're building strength in your core, in your pelvic stability. Beautiful. And then one last option, if you have full wheel in your practice, of course, you can go ahead, just bring the fingertips facing your shoulders, and in one fell swoop, straighten your arms and come to that full wheel. One other option, if your bridge is higher than mine, you could just turn the block to this height, right? It's a little difficult for me. Okay. And then whenever you're ready, if you're enjoying this, you can stay right here. Otherwise, remove the block, roll down one vertebra at a time, separate your feet to the outer edges of your mat, and slowly windshield wipe the knees, just to help bring your spine back to neutral. We'll start Shavasana here, and Shavasana will be 10 minutes. So you get to decide. It is the most important part of your practice because Shavasana, final relaxation, is where our brain gets the message to secrete dopamine and serotonin, which counteract adrenaline and cortisol. So the stress hormones get balanced out, they get neutralized by the dopamine and the serotonin. So go ahead and you could, if your back is talking to you, you could just turn your toes in and allow your knees to touch, tenting your knees, and you could stay here for your final relaxation. Otherwise, extend the legs to a comfortable V. You could walk your buttocks underneath you, and that'll help you to turn out your knees and toes. And then make sure you're doing the same with your shoulder blades. So tuck them underneath your shoulders or your back, and your arms will just splay out, palms facing up. And then if there's any discomfort in your neck, you can always tuck your chin and release it, just getting rid of any wrinkles in the back of your neck. Eyes closed, lips touching, breathing in through the nose, breathing out through the nose. And now, instead of controlling the breath the way we did with pranayama, instead, you're just relaxing and allowing your natural breath. Let the breath breathe you. And one of the analogies I like to make, it's like the ocean waves rolling into shore as you inhale, rolling out to sea as you exhale. Staying focused on your breath. You can use a mantra a mind tool like rising, falling, in, out, or if you want Sanskrit, so hum. The words mean, I am that. You are connected. Rising, falling, in, out. So hum. Rising, falling, in, out. So hum. When you're ready to come out of Shavasana, begin to deepen your breath, inhaling fully, feeling the chest expand, feeling the belly rise. Feel free to open your mouth and vocalize as you exhale. Deep breath in, fully filling up, expanding rib cage, belly rises. Another big breath like that. Filling up, expanding. Begin to wiggle your fingers, wiggle your toes. Make fists with your hands and splay the fingers out wide and repeat. Point your toes, flex your heels and repeat. Circle your hands at the wrists, your feet at the ankles. Reverse the direction. And then carefully bend your knees, placing your feet flat on the floor on the outer edges of your mat and windshield wipe knees side to side. Drop everything over to one side and roll to a sideline child's pose. Shoulders stacked over shoulder, hip over hip, knee over knee. Use your hands to press up to a seated position. Bringing your hands to your heart in Anjali Mudra, we'll say namaste to each other. Namaste is Sanskrit for hello and goodbye, but it also means that the light and the love in me recognize and bow to the light and the love in each of you. Namaste. Thank you for coming today.